Hey everybody, it's Chuck Barone. Wednesday, December the 27th, 2023. Counting it down now, guys. 2023 in the books pretty much. We got a couple last days here. But I'm guessing we're going to end 2023 and the planet's going to still be spinning and everything's going to just still be here and the world will survive another year. All right. Anyway, guys, before I get rolling on the show today, let me take a half a second. Welcome, everybody, as always. Thank you guys for your support. You guys watching these videos keeps us rocking. We appreciate you guys. We got some new stuff coming up for 2024. We're excited about it. Hopefully, it'll make the show a little more interesting, a little more informative for you guys. All right, let's talk about markets today. Market rallying up at the end. You know, the market now is pretty much decided, and I guess the Fed's going along with this, that rate hike cycle is over. The inflation fight is won. Markets rallying like crazy, stocks and bonds. Dollar falling as it should, with rates going, anticipated to be falling as well. Interesting times we live in, honest, because, I guess, the Fed's been telegraphing everything they've been doing so far. And they're telegraphing rate cuts now. I just got to say, it just seems a little premature to be doing that when inflation is still elevated. Now, they're going to point to this number or that number or blah, 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 blah. We all know what we're paying. We all can see it. And again, this is, I guess, the result of a year and a half of inflation, or almost 2 years of inflation. Prices up pretty dramatically on some staples we buy every day. Prices now, they're going to pat themselves on the back because prices, while not falling, while not staying the same, are going up more slowly. And that's, in their world, that's a win. And they're already up 20%. Now you're going to only add 2% this year or next year or whatever your target is. It just doesn't seem like a big win to me. But I guess I'm the oddball, right? Anyway, let's talk about markets. Stock market rallying up as it is. It'll probably finish the year on a nice little rally here. The bull market is on. The Dow up 111 points, 37,656, kicking ass. The NASDAQ up another 24, 15,099 points, now well over 15,000. The S&P up 6 points, 4781, near all-time highs there. Stock market looks exuberant. Bond market continues to rally. Bond yields coming down. The 10-year falls 9 basis points today, 3.79% of the 10-year. The 2-year falls 4 basis points, 4.24% on the 2-year. That's basically a full point down now on the 2-year. And almost a full point down pretty much on the 10-year. Crazy times we're living in, guys, because the Fed hasn't really cut rates. The bond market just going ahead and doing it for them. Dollar today, down again, man. The dollar now coming closer to the Mendoza line, 100.95. Once we wipe off that last point, we'll be sitting right there at 100 on the index. Good news for gold and silver and other commodities. Not so great sometimes for import prices, but the dollar getting back down to normal with rates to come down. Gold today rallies up again, $9.41. Now sitting $2,077.21 for an ounce of gold. Good price there. Wow, nice rally. Silver up a nickel, just 5 cents today. $24.26 for silver. I think that price is low. If I were betting right now, I would be placing my nickels and dimes on silver. I think you're going to see silver well above $25 soon. I think once the public, right now you got smart money, institutional money, they don't mind spending $2,000 an ounce for an ounce of gold. And you get, Joe Schmuckatelli out there, the guy who's just getting started. Silver's easy because you can buy quite a bit of silver for $2,000. Feel like you actually have something for your money instead of just that one gold bar or coin, right? So I think silver's going to rally once the regular guys like us guys, once we get into the silver market and really start buying silver, adding to the stash, you're going to see silver take off pretty good. Oil comes down today, down to $1.66, sitting at $73.91 for a barrel of West Texas Intermediate. Oil's right in the trading range we anticipated being in. There's really not a lot, you hear the news, war in Iran, and a lot of negativity in the Middle East right now. It hasn't really affected oil prices in a negative way, even though they're kind of trying to make it so. I think the fact that the U.S. is now the world's largest oil producer takes a little bit of the pressure off that Middle East. Oil prices, again, right where we expect them to be. Bitcoin today rallying up, continuing this rally, up $1,229 today. $43,410 for Bitcoin. I think, this could be the start of something really big for Bitcoin. If those ETFs and other things, if they can get all their lawsuits settled and kind of create a little bit more of an orderly market, I think cryptos could really take off. All right, let's talk about news today. News we need, not a lot. Because, it's the end of the year. Things are a little bit quiet. A couple interesting little things I saw today. They started up student loans. Everybody has to start paying back their student loans. It hasn't been actually forgiven. There's been a lot of people forgiven. Those who haven't, the freeze is over, time to start paying. 40% of student loan holders did not make a payment, the first payment. 40% missed the first payment. I don't know if that's intentional. They're going to go on a debt strike. They don't care about their credit. Owing the government money is the worst. You can't get away from that. That was a pretty surprising number. So many people deciding to just ignore that payment. I read this other article today. Pizza Hut today announcing they're going to big layoffs coming for Pizza Hut in California. They plan to fire all 1,200 delivery drivers in the state. Now, California, their minimum wage goes up in January, at the end of January, around the 28th, I think, 29th. Goes up to $20 an hour in January. And like most super greedy corporations, they don't want to pay their employees that much. They'd rather leave it for the executives. So instead, they're just going to fire 1,200 people. And I got to see what they're going to do to get their pizza delivered. Are they just going to go straight, Grubhub or Uber Eats or whatever they're going to do? I just don't know if that's going to work for them too well. Now people are going to, when you order from Uber Eats rather than directly, you pay a little bit more. There's service fees, there's other fees added on, right? I don't know if that's going to fly for them. They're going to probably find that this is not going to be a good strategic move. Really great, nice corporate image here, right? It continues to demonstrate what I've been saying, guys, the heartless nature now of our modern capitalism, where it's all about the dollar signs, it's all about the bottom line. Nobody gives a crap about people anymore, man. Even their own customers, man, they're offshoring customer service. Customer service has never been worse in this country. They're blatantly raising their prices. Don't give a crap. The reaction, don't. MGM Resorts here in Vegas just announced they're raising, just to park your car there, okay? They're raising prices now. So now on Monday through Thursday, they're going to charge $18 just to self-park in their parking garage. $18 just to park your car. And Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, it's going to be $23 just to park your car before you even get inside the building. They want $20. Customer service is gone, dudes. Gone, guys. It's all history, man. It's done. This kind of stuff never would have happened when I was a kid. There was a certain shame to being the greedy one, to hoarding everything for yourself. The community mattered a lot more than any individual mattered. This was the generation that had just fought the World War, so they were more of the community-minded than individually minded. Their offspring, yay baby boomers, however, went the other way. I got to see how this is all going to play out for Pizza Hut. My guess is we're going to see some unions showing up there pretty quickly to try and organize them. And why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they? I think that this union, what's the right word for it? reigniting the idea of unionizing. The idea of unions is something good rather than the way we've been fed. Unions are bad, unions are terrible. Well, they are terrible for management. They're just not terrible for working people, right? Anyway, what happens is unions have kind of they've become political. And that's never good. Look what happened to the NRA. They became political, destroyed the entire organization. Unions became political, and now they are basically political fodder to get beaten up by political parties. And it's nice to see the resurgence of unions, though. It's good for working people. And the more management hates it, the more it's going to be good for the people who work there. Let's do a few predictions this year. I want to talk about, we haven't really, it's nothing happening right now in the markets. I just want to talk about stuff that I think we could see happening in 2024. I think that the markets will be up for the year. Stock and bond markets will be up. But I think they're going to be much more quiet and subdued than they have been the past couple of years. I think that the Federal Reserve and the U.S. government will do everything they can possible to keep the facade of everything's great intact throughout the election. I think once the election's done, all hell breaks loose, and it gets left to the winner to sort it all out, right? I think that interest rates obviously are going to fall, and so will prices on real estate at the same time. What's going to happen is right now prices are artificially high because of no supply. As rates come down and people see they can sell their house and buy something else without a gigantic rise in their payment, more people will list their houses. That'll create a little more competition to sell them. That always brings prices down. I think that this will be a big year for crypto. I think the ETFs will come on. I think BlackRock and Vanguard will both get theirs done. That'll create some big demand for crypto. You'll see prices rise. I think geopolitics this year are not going to be much fun to watch. I think Russia, China, Iran, and all their buddies will formalize their alliances. I think it's pretty clear what the plan is. They're going to take on the U.S. We've seen NATO expanding and the U.S. expanding its alliances. I got a feeling our adversaries will probably do the same. I think the election itself will be a giant fiasco. This is the first time in more than 100 years, since the 1912 election, that we're going to have two people running for president who are both running for re-election. It's crazy. I think that Biden will win a squeaker. I think Trump's going to again scream fraud. And I think it's going to further divide the country, which is almost impossible to believe because I think the country has never been more divided than it is right now. And I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of angry responses just for my opinion here. Personally, you guys know how I feel. I hate both parties. I'd like to see a legitimate third party come along. I just doubt we ever will. I think stocks will be up for 2024. Not as much as most people think they're going to be with rate cuts coming. I still think we got a slight chance of seeing a recession here. And I think gold and silver are going to have a great year as the dollar comes back down to earth. Just some simple ideas that I think are going to happen. Anyway, that's it for the day, guys. That's actually it for the year. I'm going to take tomorrow and Friday, do my big New Year's Eve retreat where I kind of get my goals set and get my life in order for the new year. New Year's always an exciting time for me. So I'm going to sign off by saying, again, thank you guys, really, all of you, but especially my regulars. There's so many of you guys, Attila and JP and Eleanor, and there's so many. I can't even, I recognize your names from reading the comments so many times. Nice to have you guys. We really appreciate the support. Every viewer out there, please have the happiest, healthiest, safest, most prosperous 2024 you could ever imagine. May all your dreams come true. Hopefully you'll continue to listen to this show and take the advice we've been giving you guys. If you have been listening to us the whole year and listened to some of the stuff we've been saying to do, you're ending this year a lot better than most people are. Anyway, I could ramble on forever. Happy New Year. Best and most prosperous of New Years. We'll be back on Tuesday with the regular schedule. Until then, guys, Happy New Year. Take care. Go Bills. Thanks.